What is up, you guys? Welcome back to another episode of Just an Air podcast. This week, I wanted to do an episode dedicated to ACL because I just went to weekend one and I did recently just post a reel where I talked about all my tips and tricks for the festival. But I feel like I have a lot more to share with you guys. So, anyone going to weekend two, this may help you if you're going to another festival in the future or even just a concert that you're going to be at all day. Maybe this could be helpful for you. I don't know. But I'm also going to be talking just about my experience at ACL, weekend recap, you know the deal. So, before we get into things, a little housekeeping, making sure you're following the Just an Era podcast on Instagram, rating the show a 5 star wherever you listen to your podcasts. And yeah, I know I keep saying every week, oh my God, giveaway coming, giveaway coming. My life has been a fucking roller coaster the last few weeks. I've been so busy, but I want to really do it this week. The reason I've been holding it off is because it's a giveaway where I need to hand deliver it to you guys. So if you live in Austin, Texas, you can participate in this giveaway. And I think this is a great episode too. Giveaway, awesome people, ACL, you know the vibes. Anyways, weekly error this week is taking my training more serious for the marathon. I woke up Monday morning ready to run for my long run. And you guys, it took every ounce of me to get out of the house to run. Obviously, I had a little bit of a bender this weekend. And I just know for the next 20 weeks, I'm going to tone that down. I'm going to tone it down quite a bit. I have already toned it down. I probably go out maybe once a weekend. And it's not like it ever used to be last summer. But I just kind of want to avoid drinking for a little bit for my mental sanity and my physical capability with this marathon training. So, yeah, a little bit more wholesome weekends. Hopefully, you guys don't find me to be a little bit boring anymore with my content, but it is what it is. And then my purchases of this week is my Bissell steam vacuum. Okay. It is Prime Day, which you guys are listening to this, and Prime Day is over. So I hope you guys got some goodies. But for me personally, I have been needing something like this. My entire first floor is concrete. It's concrete with a little wax on top so that way it looks shiny. But let me tell you right now, it's fucking hard to clean, okay? Cheese is a puppy. He's had a few accidents and it stains. It does stain, believe it or not. You would think, oh, concrete? Nah, like that's easy to clean. No stains, nothing. Probably the best thing to have for your floor. I am realizing as now I am a homeowner, I'm learning a lot about homes and, different features of homes. And concrete, you think it's easy to clean, but it ain't. But now I got my Bissell steam vacuum and it has been a game changer, okay? It's a vacuum and a steamer all in one. So you don't have to go through and vacuum before you use the steamer. It is getting all the stains out. You can use it on hardwood floors, your concrete floors, whatever it is. I've been just using my Swiffer wet jet. Doesn't do nearly the job of what my Bissell steam vacuum is doing, okay? Like I said, though, it was on Amazon Prime sale, so I don't know if it's gonna be what this price is. I think it was like 50% off when I did get it. So, anyways, um, weekly rants this week, and I never really like to talk about politics or anything that's going on in the world just because I like my podcast to be kind of an escape for you guys. My podcast is very therapeutic for me as well. Like, I come here, I just rant, I talk. I feel so good after filming a podcast episode. It is one of my favorite days out of the week. I just feel, woo, weight is lifted off my shoulder when I talk to you guys. I feel great. And then politics, everything in the world going on, like, that's just something I try to stray away from because I know there are people out there that are going through some of the tough times out there that, the United States is facing right now. So I want this to be a place where you can, escape and feel like in your own little bubble, in your own little world. But I just felt like I needed to address a few things, okay? Obviously with the hurricane and, North Carolina and Florida and anywhere affected, it is honestly like truly been breaking my heart seeing everything online and on the news. And I want to use this episode as a resource for Amazon storefronts. So, or the Amazon lists, whatever you call it, like the relief pages. You can do as little as donating a few dollars for food, supplies, whatever it is. I'm going to leave it in the description box. There are great resources out there you can explore and look through. These are just two of the Amazon wish lists that I was able to find. And we obviously have the Milton hurricane that is approaching, and I will be praying and thinking of everyone that is going to be getting affected by this, and I will probably do a follow-up episode if there are more resources that do become available for this new hurricane that is coming through. But for right now, I just wanted to put it out there, and do your research, but that's just I'm gonna put the resources in the bio of this episode if you wanna, buy something, canned soup, Band-Aids, Tylenol, like, there's, like, a whole list of what the wish list needs, and it will say how much left of what they need. So, just pop in, check it out, and then the other thing I do want to talk about is politics. Surprise, surprise, Sam never talks about that, okay? I just don't think I'm your person to be talking about that, I don't at all, but this year with the election, I have been doing a lot of my own research, and I have been, you know, reading, listening to podcasts, and just getting as many resources I can out there to learn. We are in the generation at this age where we are going to be the future. So I think it is very important that we start to get more involved. I am someone that I wish I did get a little bit more involved with this stuff earlier on. I'm not here to persuade you one way or the other, but I do think it is in your hands to get out there and educate yourself and learn and vote this year. I think it is very important that, we all get out there and learn and educate ourselves for our own future. I think now that I am a homeowner and I'm getting older, it is important that I learn about these things. And then obviously with everything else. So those are just my 2 cents that I want to put out there. If you haven't really been involved, I definitely think it is something, hey, maybe I should do my own research and just educate myself a little bit more. Yeah. So, anyways, enough of that serious talk. I want to get into my weekend recap of ACL. I had so much fun, but I'm fucking tired, okay? It was weekend 1, they're doing weekend 2 this year, um, next weekend. I have never gone to weekend 1 before. Every time I've gone, I've only gone to weekend 2. The main differences that I thought about with weekend 1 versus weekend 2 was the ground, okay? Weekend 2, every year I go, it is just pure dirt. You are breathing in the dirt, you can hardly breathe. You have snot rockets the next day with just dirt and filth. It's disgusting. And when you wanna sit down, you feel like you can't find anywhere with grass. It's just a mess. So that's why my friend group decided to change and go to weekend 1. And you know what? It has its pros and cons, which we'll get into, but this was just my first weekend 1. So I did not know what to expect other than hopefully having some grass on the ground. Friday, we did a pregame at one of my friends' houses. There was a pretty big group of us that got together for a pregame. And, we didn't get in until maybe around 5 o'clock. And I think that's where we fucked up because, Friday after work, 5 o'clock, that is prime time to be going into not even prime time, the opposite of prime time. Everybody is going into ACL at that time. And, we had so much fun at the pregame. There was jello shots. We were making drinks, listening to music, getting everyone gathered and excited and ready for the festival. And then we walked over. Our friend lives on South Lamar, which if you're familiar with Austin, that is a very close walking distance to the festival. So we walked there as a crew and I was wearing my boots the first day. Okay. And the reason I decided to wear my boots was because it was going to be the shortest day at ACL. So I figured, if I'm gonna wear boots, might as well do it on the day where I'm not gonna be on my feet the most, my shortest day, and hopefully I can get away with maybe, potentially, no blisters. I thought wrong, okay? I had horrible blisters by the end of the night, and they only started to happen when I was leaving the festival. Um, ACL lineup this year wasn't the biggest fan. Friday, I just kind of wanted to go for the vibes, listen to some music, but I'm not even kidding you guys. Maybe I just live under a fucking rock, but I just did not know any of the artists for Friday. Obviously, there was Chris Stapleton and Pretty Lights as the headliners, but I personally didn't want to watch headliners on Friday because I wanted to get to bed early and I wanted to avoid the traffic. So I personally left ACL right before the headliners got on. My boyfriend had a friend in town, so I was like, "You can stay, but I'm going. I'm not even that drunk. I'm pretty sober. I'm gonna make it home, okay?" And um I decided to leave, you guys, and this is where I fucking went wrong, okay? I am the queen of Irish goodbying. I am the queen of doing things on my own. Mhm. I think I'm invincible, and I think that's my issue. I think I am so invincible to the point where, like, I know what I'm doing and I know I'm gonna get home. Oh my god, okay. I am leaving out of the exit. There's 2 entrances and 2 exits of ACL. There's one closer to the Rollingwood neighborhood. There's one closer to the downtown side, which is over near Barton Springs. And I went out the other one that's closer to the bridge where the supposed Lyft rideshare pickup was. So I'm walking. I'm not seeing a sign. This is right when I get out of the exit, and I look up, and I don't see a single sign anywhere for which direction to go. I have left or right. What do I choose? Where's rideshare? So me being me, I go up to a worker. Duh, common sense. Ask the worker, hey, which way is rideshare? And keep in mind, this is a man that is directing traffic with one of those like lit up sticks that is directing traffic which way. And I'm like, okay, this seems like a valid person to ask. This man goes, oh, yeah, that way. So I believe him. I trust his word. I start walking. I am walking for maybe half a mile, a little over half a mile. And I start to realize there's still no signs for Lyft or Uber or rideshare pickup. So you know what? I'm starting to just trust this man. I'm like, you know what? I'm trusting him right now. Let's just keep believing that it's this way. I don't want to turn around right now. My feet are covered in blisters. I just need to get home. And then at this point, I don't really see many people around where I am, but it's a whole walking path. Like they have the cones and like the aisle set up for you to be walking. Okay. And I see a cop. So I go up to the cop and I go, hey, do you know where rideshare is? I was directed this way by a worker, but I'm not seeing anything. And the cop looked at me with googly eyes, like, I'm sorry, ma'am. I actually don't know. And in that moment, you guys, I lost it. Internally lost it. I didn't freak out on this man. But in my mind, I'm like, how the fuck are you working this festival and you don't know where the rideshare is? You are a cop. You should be studying that map to know where everything is. Because God forbid something happens and you need to be there. Like, are we kidding? I feel like that's just your one job. Not only for the worker that was directing traffic, but also the cop. I was like, you both led me in the wrong direction. I'm not even kidding you guys. I think I walked over a mile and a half. And if you're familiar with Austin, I passed the freeway under the bridge and made myself get all the way up to Rollingwood, a gorgeous $1 million home neighborhood. And yeah, at this point, I do feel safe, but I'm thinking to myself, there's no way an Uber is going to be able to pick me up in here. There's those barricade things blocking off the neighborhood, so obviously cars can't park in the neighborhood. And there's a cop at the entrance of the neighborhood, so I'm like, fuck. There's no way. I might have to walk another half a mile to get out of this neighborhood. And keep in mind, you're probably wondering, Sam, why didn't you just look it up? The festival ground has no service. So I had no service this entire time. Like, you know, when you go into maps and you can see your location and try to figure out where you are, that wasn't working for me. I was texting my boyfriend telling him what was going on, but I was like, you know what? I will figure this out. I don't want to freak him out. He's in the he's in the concert. I will get home. I end up getting into the neighborhood. I'm standing next to a bunch of cops that are blocking off the neighborhood, and I order an Uber. I finally get my Uber, and I get that ride home. And I just the lady looked at me and she goes, "Damn, like where are you coming from?" I'm like, "ACL." She goes, "Are you serious?" I was like, "Yeah." She was like, "That was a far walk." I was like, "Yeah, you're telling me, okay? You're telling me." And I learned my mistake. I now know where the ride share is for ACL. Okay, it is either across the bridge to get over to the other side on, East Caesar or over near like Barton Springs main intersection. Not where I went, okay? So, that was quite the night for myself, but I am very happy that I went very casual on my Friday night at ACL. Didn't really know any of the artists. I knew one song, if that, at each like artist that I went to, and I just felt out of place. So I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go home. I'm gonna go home. Got to let my dogs out, always in the back of my head. Oh, my dogs, my dogs, my dogs. I need to get home to my dogs. and I got home to my dogs and I let them out and we cuddled all night. And then on Saturday, Benson Boone, he was fucking amazing. He was so good. He was doing backflips. He was singing every like hit he had. It was such a good performance. And then we kind of bopped around for a little bit and then we went over to Dua Lipa. You guys, Dua Lipa is the hottest human ever. She looked fantastic. She was wearing like an all leather outfit. She had like dark red, purplish hair. Oh my god, she looked good, so good. Like, how can you look so hot and sexy singing and dancing like that? I don't know. Like, it was actually insane. We stayed until maybe 10 minutes left with her show because everyone was like, "We don't wanna sit in that traffic. This is gonna be horrible. Let's get out of here." So, yeah, we pretty much all just left after that, and, oh my god, wait, I can't even forget about the fucking mosh pit getting out. You guys, trying to get out of there with 10 minutes left of her show, we were in a mosh pit, like a straight mosh pit. I was sandwiched between my boyfriend and his friend, trying to get out of there and trying not to get trampled on because I mean, I'm not short. I'm 5'5", but like compared to everyone that was around me, like everyone was towering over me and I genuinely thought I was going to get like stepped on because people were coming in to see Dua Lipa and we're trying to leave, but like the venue itself, ACL itself, I am learning that this year, I think they sold way more tickets than they anticipated to sell, and it was overpopulated for sure. I have never in my 3 years of going to ACL seen it so populated in my entire life. Like, it was actually insane. So, getting out of there was actually scary. Like, I was like, "We are gonna spend a good hour trying to get out of this crowd," and yeah, we pretty much had to get out, even still thinking we left 10 minutes early from her show. We still hit like a probably hour and a half wait for getting Ubers, which part of that was walking all the way to downtown and then getting an Uber. And then on top of that, the Uber was like $60. Now keep in mind, an Uber for me to get home on a normal night is like 15, 20, if that. So yeah. And then on Sunday, we were all so down bad. We didn't want to get any food in ACL because we were honestly a little bit disappointed with just like the food. So we were like, you know what? Let's go to Lou's right on Barton Springs. Football's on because it's Sunday. There's gonna be TVs. So we watched some football, got some drinks at Lou's. People watched because everyone has to pass Lou's to get to the festival. And I got a rotisserie chicken, some Brussels sprouts. Oh shit, it was so good. And then we ended up meeting up with everyone because Saturday we pretty much just spent our time in our small little group. And then on Sunday we met up with everyone again. Um, Much more casual day. We got in, honestly, early. We got in at like 2 o'clock, saw a bunch of the performers. We ended up getting our blankets out, and sat down near the bars in the shade and just listened to music for honestly maybe an hour, hour and a half, and then popped around. I wanted, controversial take, to go to Mike Stud over Chaperone. So everyone else went to Chaperone, and me and my boyfriend, who also loves Mike Stud, sorry, Mike, his name is Mike, okay? I'm an OG listener of Mike Stud. I'm not familiar with his newer songs. So it is what it is. The fucking Steves get so mad at me in the comments being like, his name is Mike, just Mike. I'm like, I understand, okay? And not a lot of people actually know that he changed his name. Because I said to a bunch of my friends in the group, I was like, we're gonna go watch Mike. And they're like, who's Mike? I go, Mike Stud. And they're like, oh, what? Really? He like changed his name? I'm like, yeah. So not a lot of people actually know that. And so we decided we got like 45 minutes till the show. Let's get front row. So we got front row. We put a blanket down, sat against the guardrail thing. And, the performance was great. The performance was awesome. Um, Definitely a very small crew. Everyone was at Chaperone. He kept bringing it up like over and over again. And I'm like, dude, we get it. Like no one's not no one. There was like, definitely still a few thousand people watching him, but nothing compared to what was over at Chaperone. And he just kept bringing it up. And he kept being like, I'm an independent artist. I came here last minute, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, dude, we get it. Like, move on. We get it. We're just here for your music. We like, stop bringing up Chaperone. Um, He did come down from the stage and dance a lot in the crowd, which was really fucking cool, and I hope he does that next week for you guys if you do choose to go to Mike, because he was very interactive. And then after that, my boyfriend didn't drink all day because he has work the next day, so he's like, "I don't wanna be hungover." So, I got a good drunk going. I'm drunk, and I'm like, "Can we please go to Damdala?" But Damdala wasn't going on until, like, 8:20 something, and you know what? I looked at him and I was like, You're lucky. I'm hungry right now." He goes, "Do you want to go get some Uber Eats? I'll pay for the Uber home and I'll buy us the Uber Eats. Like, let's get out of here." Cause he was like, he's like, "I want to go home." I'm like, "Okay, sure. I'll do that. You can get my Uber Eats and pay for my Uber and bring me home. And I'll leave early. I don't need to see him Dom Dolla. I've seen him before. He's awesome. But I just don't think I'm in that that headspace to be going to see Dom Dolla. Like, I'm just a little drunk, but nothing more than that. So I was like, I'll go home, which was honestly probably the best decision we could have made. I got some tacos. He got Chipotle. We got home very quickly because everyone was staying for the full Chaperone performance and Tyler the Creator. But oh, it felt great getting home and laying in my bed, taking a shower. Oh, I smelled like filth. It was disgusting. But that was my ACL experience this year. I will say I will probably not get another full weekend pass next year. I will probably just do 1 or 2 day passes. It just sucks because you don't know the lineup until much closer. But I can't do it like I used to. I really can't. And it's a struggle out there. Okay, you guys, ACL tips and tricks. Hopefully, you guys can find this to be a helpful episode going into weekend two. I want to start off because we just kind of talked about how I don't want to get a weekend pass this year. I'd rather do day passes. And I know there are a lot of tickets that you can buy right before the entrance, and some of them may be quote for quote scams. And I've seen a lot of stuff on social media already about the potential scams and to be careful and weary. But I just want to remind you, if you're going to sell your ACL wristband, I know a lot of people are saying, don't do it. Your credit card's attached to it, XYZ. Well, quick reminder, there's a PIN that you need to use anytime you purchase anything with your wristband if your credit card is attached to it. So, no, no one can use your credit card information if you give your wristband up and you hand it over to someone. And on top of that, you can, if you have 10, 15 minutes before they can rush over to buy something with your wristband, remove your credit card, which is something you can also do. So don't let everything you're seeing on social media scare you into thinking that you can't sell your wristband because you can. I had two friends of mine that sold their wristband Saturday night for the full day Sunday for $100. I'm like, damn, honestly, that's like a really good idea to do. So they sold their wristbands and they had no problems with, anyone trying to scam them or buy shit off of their wristbands, like alcohol, merch, food. So just keep that in mind. You need a PIN to buy things. There's a PIN activated with your credit card. So that's not something that I believe when I see people talking about that. But anyways, and then on top of the, potential scammers out there selling wristbands, most of the time, those people that are selling the wristbands are just selling ones that people sold. So, if, for example, my friends sold the wristbands to people out on the street asking if they could buy them off of people, and they're just reselling them. Okay. You can also find people that, aren't like maybe a couple. You see a couple that's like, hey, please. Like, we had a couple come up to us and we're like, hey, we literally are just coming here because we want to see like Chaperone. Like, please, can we buy your wristbands? And I personally had my wristband way too tight on my wrist. And I looked at her and I go, I'm so sorry, but like my wristband is just not coming off. There's just no way. I would have to cut it off. And at that point, you're not going to be able to get away with, being able to get in there with a cut off wristband. You have to wear it on your wrist. So, those are just some things to put into consideration. Obviously, the sketchy sites and the Facebook marketplace, I would be weary of those things, but you'll probably have best bet doing it right in front of the festival grounds, trying to buy one from somebody. But that's just my 2 cents. Still be careful, be weary. Anyways, things that I learned and have taken with me over the last few years of going to ACL. Some of my favorite purchases are going to be my battery operated fan, got it for like 12 bucks on Amazon. I know a lot of people will have like those EDM festival wavy fans that you use. Um, those are good, I would say, but nothing is compared to the electrical one or electrical battery operated one. The battery on mine lasted all day. I was fine, didn't have to charge it. Worked great, fits right in your purse. And then my next thing is my blanket that I got on Amazon. It's literally a pocket blanket. I think it's like the size of my phone when you like wrap it up and you can put it right into your purse. It also comes with a clip. So if it doesn't fit in your purse, you can clip it to your purse. And I took that out a few times during the day. It was well worth it. And it fit, I would say, maybe like 4 to 5 butt cheeks on the blanket. So it was good to have because we all had blankets and we all were just putting them all out and all sitting together. My next favorite thing that I bought was, I mean, I had this in my house, but just a bag full of Tylenol, Band-Aids, and a mini deodorant. Okay. It is fucking hot this year. Last year, I remember I was wearing pants. One day I was wearing a long sleeve. I remember at night being chilly. This year, nope, it is hot. So I packed deodorant. Everyone was using it. You might think, oh my God, disgusting. I don't care. You know, they're my friends. I want my friends to smell good and not be sweating like crazy like myself. Okay. So mini deodorant, had it in my purse. It was great to have. The purses you can have at ACL or a 6x9. So my purse, I could bring it in. If you want to bring in a bigger bag, it has to be clear. So yeah, those are things to keep in mind with your bags. And then for my boyfriend, I made him wear my water bottle backpack and I also made him wear a fanny pack. So we needed extra storage. My boyfriend doesn't really carry a lot with him, but I was like, you know what? You're bringing a fanny pack, you're wearing a fanny pack, and I'm putting my deodorant in there. I'm putting the Tylenol, Band-Aids in there, just things I couldn't fit into my bag were going into his. And then we also had the Camelback backpack because there are hydration stations all throughout the festival grounds, and you can fill up water for free instead of spending $7 on a liquid death water that comes in a can and you can't screw up the cap for it and, potentially spill it. So that was good to have. And then also a portable charger, no brainer. The heat itself will drain the battery on your phone. So having the portable charger was very helpful. I used it a few times towards the end of the night. And then also, I don't know if this is allowed, but walkie-talkies, okay? If you can sneak in walkie-talkies into the festival, do it. We had some pretty big groups. Especially last year, we used the walkie talkies a lot. But this year, I feel like most of the time the groups kind of stayed around. And if we needed service, we did have it. But walkie talkies are really, really good to have. And then on top of that, if you're a wanderer like myself, put an air tag on. Put an air tag on and give your boyfriend or your friends the location of the air tag. Give them access to it. So that way, you know what? If you do wander off, maybe you can get tracked down by your friends, okay? So it's just a safety thing. Keep that in mind. If you have an air tag laying around the house, just switch the location for it for, the first few days. And then you can put it back to whatever item you had it on and then go about the rest of your, week. And then as far as being in with groups, if you're not familiar with like the festival or EDM scene or like the raver scene, they will bring flags, they will bring poles with items on top of it to solidify like their grounds, if that makes sense. So when you're with a big group and you don't have something like that, using those as landmarks for your group when you set up camp wherever you're going to be for a artist is good because we were next to or tried to be near any type of flag or any type of object so that way our friends could easily find us if they wanted to wander off and go to the bathroom, go get food, get a drink, or maybe they went to go see a different artist and wanted to come back. Like, you'll be able to find your friends if you are near a pretty identifiable landmark. There was one crew that always had this rubber duck. Honestly, a lot of the time we were near them on a big pole. The pole, keep in mind, is like 10 to 20 feet high. So, like, you can see that pole with the rubber duck on top from a few hundred yards away. So, just being near landmarks like that. And then for the guys or even girls, hats. If you're a taller individual We have one guy in our friend group who he's pretty tall and he'll wear the funkiest hat. He wore this bucket hat that was neon colors. And, if you're looking out in the crowd, it's easy to spot down. Like you can see that from hundreds of feet away. So, any type of thing that is going to help your group get back together, find each other, use those as landmarks. And then also, and another thing too is each stage, the speakers are labeled by like 1C, 2C, 3C, like whatever it is. So you can also use the speaker signs as landmarks. Another thing with the security is like I said earlier, 5 p.m. on Friday, avoid security. If you have a pregame that has been set up for Friday, maybe skip it. Just get into the festival a little bit earlier because everyone and their mother is going to be going to ACL at 5 p.m. Everyone's getting off work at that time. I had never seen the security line so busy in my entire time of ever going to ACL. It was so long. And you know what? Take this with a grain of salt. Maybe it was just because it was weekend one, and weekend one may be way more packed than weekend two was. I've only ever gone to weekend two. So what I've heard is that weekend two is a little more quiet. Weekend one is always busier. But for me, when I noticed how long that line was Friday, 5 p.m., I was like, I am never doing this again. So just keep that in consideration. If you can leave work early or skip the pregame, try to do so. Um, as far as outfits are concerned, I know the weather will probably be right about the same as weekend one was, but it was right around 90 degrees. And from 2 p.m. to 5 p.m. was when it was the hottest. Okay. So my outfits that I chose were, in my mind, pretty nice, pretty lightweight, good to wear. I thought wrong. Okay. The tight tank tops were absorbing all the sweat. I was soaked. My best outfit that I wore was a bathing suit with a sheer dress on top. It was breathable, it was loose. If I did sweat, it kind of dried up. It wasn't sticking to my clothes. So if I'm going to do ACL weekend two, I would 100% wear a flowy, sheer dress with a bathing suit underneath. So that way it's breathable. I can sweat and it not stick to my clothes. Even wearing the maxi dress or the maxi skirt, a lot of people said, "Oh my God, Sam, don't wear a maxi skirt. Like you're going to get it so dirty." I didn't get it dirty. Like it's white. It barely touches the ground. I didn't get it dirty. But the one thing I will say is it kept in the heat in my legs. It kept the heat in my legs, and I regretted every second of it. I had it rolled up to my knees most of the day because I needed to get the air into my legs. My legs were sweating so bad. Um, for shoes, I ended up wearing sneakers the last 2 days. I got my Steve Madden sneakers. They are the comfiest thing ever, but they're also super stylish. And honestly, they didn't get ruined at all. Like I said, week one, the grounds are a little bit different than weekend two. Weekend two has a little bit more dirt, but all in all, wear sneakers. It's so much more worth it. You'll enjoy the festival more if you're not in pain. I wore those boots and I ended up regretting it. They're so cute. Don't get me wrong. I'm so happy I bought them, but they will definitely not be worn on days where I know I'm going to be on my feet for like 10 hours straight. Okay. So, yeah. And then, my hair, wear it up. I tried Saturday to wear it down. I saw a lot of other girls wearing their hair down. I was like, you know what? I'm going to try it. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to tell you right now, it got so sweaty, so greasy, so gross, so quickly, I ended up putting it up. Okay. So just do the updo. Do the updo. Might as well. I have that bun tutorial that I put on my reels if you guys want to use that and do a cute little do like that. But just wear your hair up. Don't even question, should I wear it up, down? Just please wear it up. Um, and then as far as the stages go, okay, the Honda stage and the American Express stage are the two main stages for the headliners. Now, if you're between artists and you're like, I don't really know which one to go to, I would say go to the Honda stage. Honda stage is so much louder. It's covered by the sun because the sun is setting behind the Honda stage. So you're going to be in the shade much sooner than if you were going to be over at the American Express stage. And then you got to make sure though you're hugging the right side of the Honda stage for the shade because that's where the shade will appear first. And then for the American Express stage, avoid the right side. Okay. Avoid the right side. Go to the left, not only for the mosh pit, because there's no exit over there. So you get stuck in that area and it's honestly quite scary. So avoid the right side of American Express. Go to the left. There's more wiggle room to get in and out. And I was told that it's louder over there as well. I did watch Dua Lipa, like I said, on the right side, but the mosh pit thing, not letting that happen to me ever again. And I don't want that to happen to you guys. So try to get to the left. And then you will also experience that it is louder over there. And you're right next to the bars and the bathroom as well. And then as far as the food goes, okay, I got some cranky people in my comments when I said that the food was dry and overpriced. And when I say that, I'm not saying that the vendors stink or are gross or not good by any means. Because people are trying to come at me like, oh my God, you're putting down a small business. I am not. I am not by any means. I'm just trying to let you know that it is overpriced. It is going to be dry or not as fresh. I mean, I fear that's just common sense. Like it's a limited resource kitchen. So if you can try to eat before, do so. Obviously, if you're going to be in the festival for 5, 6, 7 hours, you're going to need another meal. You're going to need to eat in the festival. I still did that. But for the days where I wasn't in for super long and I could eat before and after, I did so. I got 2 tacos at one point for $20 and they were like tiny tacos. So I'm like, didn't even fill me quite well. So I was like, you know what? We're gonna eat outside. And don't get me wrong, I'm not gonna name the vendors that I'm referring to, but I love the vendors outside of the actual ACL venue. So that is just why I was a little bit disappointed because I know how good this food is outside of the festival grounds. And, I get in there and it doesn't taste the same. And I'm like, well, I mean, obviously, I fear it's common sense. I fear it's common sense that it's not going to taste exactly the same. Okay. But I'm not coming at small businesses. People are going crazy. But, anyways, other small businesses you could go to outside of the festival, there are so many along the strip of Burton Springs. And then you can sit outside. I mean, it's hot, but you can sit outside and people watch. Best thing you could do. So, that's just my 2 cents, and I fear that I have given all my great advice. Um, ACL is definitely a logistics thing. It does get hot, and, you don't wanna be in there. I personally don't wanna be in there from the second the doors open to it close. I just personally would not be able to survive. So just yeah, I don't know. Have fun with it. It's so much fun. Like, if I could go back, I would, but I need to chill. I need to chill and not do that. But I hope you guys enjoyed this episode. And that's about it for me. I hope you guys enjoyed. I love y'all, and I'll see you in the next one.